Happy Tuesday, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to Sportsology. As always, I am your host, Ryank. If you played the MLB slates yesterday, I hope they worked out well for you. Lost a little bit during the daytime. Then at nighttime, I had Steven Matz going, so that did not go very, very well. I had a lot of exposure to him. So I decided to play the later two-game slates and placed in both of those tourneys. Made up money for all the day before that. So sometimes chase those money on the last slates and it works out well for you. Anybody who might be new to the show, what Sportsology is I do two things. And during the day, I do technology sales. I'm a technology solution specialist for a company called Enterprise Systems Group out of Little Chute. And then at night, I do like a full-time fantasy sports analysis for DraftKings. So kind of my two areas of expertise. So I like to get on here and talk about them for a few minutes a day and hopefully give some people some advice or something they can take out of it to get some value out of. If you're watching this for the first time, if you want to get notifications of when I put out a new video, easiest way to do that, just press that red button right down there that says subscribe. Now, we go back and forth between starting on technology or starting on daily fantasy sports. Today, we will start with daily fantasy sports again. And I just want to reiterate a few points for people who play it routinely. When it comes to MLB, I say just stick to the tournaments, stick to the tournaments, stick to the tournaments. There isn't as much benefit to play cash games in MLB as there is, for example, in NBA. It's not quite as predictable. The cash line isn't much different. So, play the tournament. It's the better way to go, more upside. You're never going to win big playing cash games. Going contrarian versus playing the chalk plays can be a huge difference. For example, on Sunday, Carlos Gonzalez was hugely owned, big time numbers. If you didn't play him, you probably lost. On the flip side, Trevor Story on Saturday was big time owned, only got, I believe, 3 points. And if you didn't play him, you got a huge type ahead. Finding those guys are going to hit zero that are going to be huge ownership and fading them is a great thing to do, especially in the smaller, like 2 game slates. I love going the opposite approach because I think it does a good job of really separating you. For example, on the 2 game slates last night, in the first set, everybody and their mother had John Lester, and he only put up a few points. If you had started one of the other guys that gave you a few couple, you're already ahead of the crowd. So it gives you a nice jump start on people. Some of the guys I'm looking at in tonight's matchup, I like Jose Fernandez. I expect him to have pretty good ownership, and I don't like going that chalky on my pitcher, but I think he's probably the surest thing out there tonight. He looked really good in his first start of the season. One of the best and most talented young pitchers in the game. He's going to have a big season, so I do like Jose Fernandez. K's our king in DraftKings, and he can strike out people in bunches. If you're looking for some hitters, I really like John Jay of the San Diego Padres today. He's still very cheap at 2,900. He's batting leadoff, which is a great place for somebody to be. Extra at bats, more opportunities to steal bases, score runs. He's playing in a hitter's park, so he even does offer you that opportunity for hit a home run. He's not a big home run hitter, but he can go yard, and playing in Philadelphia is a good place to do it. And most importantly, he's got a 409 lifetime average versus Morton in 22 career at bats, so he sees the ball very well out of his hand. Ryan Zimmerman had another very good night last night. I think Ryan Zimmerman's another good play again this evening. He had pretty good ownership last night. I would assume he'd probably kind of come in about 15% today. So check out Ryan Zimmerman of the Washington Nationals. And you want to avoid Jed Lowry tonight. 0 for 18 versus Santiago in his career. No reason to go that route. Not that Lowry is somebody who's typically targeted highly anyways, but you're going to want to avoid him today. All right, let's pivot over and talk about some technology. Here at ESG, we do a lot of different types of technology, and you probably hear me reference our new division that we started this year quite frequently. The division is squarely going to be based around network security. That's a big part of what it is. It's called network services, but keeping your network secure, easy to handle is what we try to do here. And we do a lot of this using a new application from one of our partners, Extreme Networks. So I want to talk about it today, not how it works, but how you can use it in everyday life in order to increase, efficiency throughout your organization and just get a better overall experience from the technology side of things. Every Monday, we do a Monday morning sales call, lasts about an hour and a half. People here at corporate, we have all of our outlying branches, all of our remote workers will call in and use the Polycom bridge so that we can see each other on the displays and we can talk that way. Well, on 2 different occasions yesterday, our call dropped, and it's kind of frustrating mid-meeting to have your Polycom bridge fall off. And normally, for most people, when that happens, it's not worth the time to try and figure out why it happened. So you'll just generally just learn to live with it. go back and do your thing, and you don't ever really figure out why the call dropped. Now that we have this new Extreme application that you can put on your network, it is very easy for our network and our network admin to go in and figure out why exactly that happened. Now, if you want to start talking VLANs and subnets and IP addresses, that's a little bit above my pay grade. I don't pretend to be a technician that deals with that every single day, but it's no different than going in and checking your online bank balance. Rob was able to go just right in there, pull it up, see well exactly what spiked, when, where, why, and able to eliminate that problem going forward, fix it, get it rectified, and all done in a matter of a couple of minutes versus having to spend hours trying to figure out why exactly you were having call drop issues. This can be a huge advantage for anybody who is kind of in charge of the network for their company. It's going to save them a lot of time. It's not overly expensive, especially for larger organizations. And there's a lot more practical uses to it. You can figure out what's really going on in your network. Occasionally, I like to watch Netflix at lunch, and I found out exactly what happens when I pop open Netflix on my laptop. And the fact that they know that you're doing that is a kind of a big difference maker as well. So you got to be more cognizant of what's out there and what's on your network. Now, if you'd like to get more details on this and hear about it from somebody who really runs this, who looks at it every single day, I do have a couple of internal house experts that I could set up a time and we could give you a free demonstration on it. We would relish the opportunity to do that. If you would like a free demonstration on it, because this is going to be a game changer in the technology world, send me an email and we can set that up. My email address is right down there in the description, and we'd be more than happy to come talk to you about this. As long as you're within our area, we're not coming out to California. We're not the right person for you. So have a great day. Thanks for listening, and have a wonderful rest of your day.